And your film is Gramercy Park Hotel, about
Yes,
kind of the revitalization of the Gramercy Park Hotel.
exactly. And it was New York's legendary legend in a
Hmm.
way. Sort of Chelsea kind of got all the glory and is much more well known. But the hotel is they just don't make those places anymore. I mean, that's part of the theme of the movie um, is New York losing its soul? Is change good? And as Lee says in the movie, I hate looking in the mirror every day.
Yeah. Give
Um,
us a little nutshell synopsis of your movie. I mean, you start with kind of the history of Gramercy Park Hotel, and maybe you could talk a little bit about that, and then what it became.
um, the hotel was owned and run by a family, and that is kind of how businesses were in the turn of the century. They were family owned and run businesses, and so Herbert Weisberg, who owned the hotel, raised his family there. They helped him run it. They lived there, and what we explore in the film is the fact that maybe that's not such a good idea, to live in a place where everything is kind of at your fingertips and catered to you. And Herbert maybe was an interesting guy, which you see a little bit of in the movie. I don't know. Did the cut that you have? Did it have like the home movies with him with the little kid grabbing his ear and stuff? I think you saw like a probably horrible cut, slightly older. But we start with the family, and then we go to like the sort of heyday of the hotel in a sense, when it was kind of a dump, but it was also a rock and roll haven, and everybody stayed there, and I mean everybody. And they let you do whatever you want in the hotel. They let they let people pretty much. There's a million stories that we didn't put in the film, but one was a drug dealer who lived in the hotel and never got out of bed, just dealt cocaine from his bed. And in fact, the hotel was called the Gram, which was a nickname for cocaine, as everyone knows, I'm sure. And
And what is in the movie there? The term for getting a gram at the Gram is
yes,
getting a gram at the
that
Gram.
was what people used to say.
Right.
Get a gram at the Gram. And it became a dump. Herbert was notoriously thrifty or just didn't believe in reinvesting in the hotel, and it was really run down at one point, and people loved it. It was cheapest place in town. The rooms were large, but as you see in the film, it had its quirks.
It seems like in trying to make the hotel into something else, into what was maybe a $250 a night hotel 12 years ago, now is a $500 to $600 hotel, a night. And
Oh, 500 to 600.
is that
You're
more?
dreaming. Yeah, that's like, if you can get that rate, that's like a
Really?
room that's like that big.
See that, yeah, and I found that interesting in that as much as they tried to kind of retain the kind of energy that made the Gramercy Park so fantastic, this also loses something in the translation. Did you find that when you were filming the construction of it, of filming the remodeling, so to speak? Because it looks a completely different hotel.
It is.
Yeah.
Um, I'll just answer a different question. I think that I missed the old hotel. It was amazing. It was just, people just used to go and hang out there. It was, it's so unlike a lot of New York today where you walk around, you can't get into a restaurant. It had an incredible vibe, an incredible charm. The new hotel, I think when you see the movie, you can see what one falls in love with, which is Ian Schrager, who is this master builder, um, incredibly micromanages everything to the smallest detail. And one of my favorite stories is that the 5,000 lights or whatever in the canopy of the awning, he made the employees turn the light bulbs so that the filaments, which you can see because they're clear bulbs, 5,000 filaments all had to be lined up in exactly the same direction. And I was like, Ian, who's going to notice that? He's like, I notice, I notice. Yeah. So, and I just saw all of it coming together, and it's just amazing. And I love, Schnabel did the interiors, and, Schnabel's so, he's a lunatic. Who said it in the movie? You know, he's a lunatic and I love it, or something like that. And that's kind of how you feel. Schnabel reminds us about sensuousness in life, and I think that's what you see in the hotel. It's very sensual. Um, And I used to always like text Ian. I'd sit in front of the fireplace and I'd stare at the Cy Twombly, which is what you normally can't do in a museum. Just in this incredible environment, the lobby's always very quiet, and I just sit there in front of the Twombly and for like an hour or half an hour or whatever, and I love that. It has a good vibe.